Now forget your sensible hatchbacks, your sensible saloons, your sensible crossovers. Today we're talking about proper end-of-the-world Mad Max metal. If you love exploring the toughest, most rugged vehicles ever built, you've come to the right place. We're talking about the kind of cars that laugh in the face of a little thing like the collapse of civilization. So, buckle up, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more jaw-dropping automotive stories. Now let's jump into the 10 cars that can weather the apocalypse and beyond. Right, first up we've got a vehicle so ridiculously capable, so monstrously over-engineered, that it makes a tank look like a shopping trolley. I'm talking of course about the Mercedes-Benz G-Class 6X6. Now, I know what you're thinking. Clarkson, you old fool, that's just a posh SUV for footballers' wives. And you'd be right if we were talking about the standard G-Wagon. But this, my friends, is no ordinary G-Wagon. This is the 6X6. 6 wheels, portal axles, and enough ground clearance to make a Range Rover look like a go-kart. This thing doesn't drive over obstacles, it simply doesn't notice them. It's got more differentials than you've had hot dinners, and enough torque to pull down a building. Plus, it comes with heated leather seats and a Bang & Olufsen sound system, because even in the apocalypse, we deserve a little luxury. Imagine cruising through the wasteland, sipping champagne, while hordes of zombies chase pathetically behind you. This, my friends, is the ultimate post-apocalyptic status symbol. Next up, we've got a vehicle that's a little less flashy, a little more down and dirty, but just as capable when the world goes pear-shaped. I'm talking about the Chevrolet Colorado ZR2 Bison. Now, this is a truck that means business. It's got "built for the end of days" written all over it. From its aggressive, angular styling to its knobbly off-road tires. This thing is designed for one thing and one thing only, to get you through the toughest terrain imaginable, no matter what Mother Nature or those pesky zombies throw at it. We're talking multi-matic DSSV dampers, front and rear locking differentials, and enough underbody protection to make a tank jealous. And don't even get me started on that snorkel. This thing will wade through water deeper than a politician's promises. So, if you're looking for a truck that's as tough as a coffin nail and about as subtle as a brick through a window, the Colorado ZR2 Bison is the one for you. Now, some might say that putting a Land Rover on this list is a bit like bringing a butter knife to a gunfight, but those people have clearly never driven the Defender 130. This is the car that built an empire, for crying out loud. It's been to more war zones than most soldiers, and it's still going strong. Sure, it might not have the flashy looks of some of the other vehicles on this list, but what it lacks in style it more than makes up for in substance. This thing is built like a tank with a chassis that's tougher than a week-old baguette. It'll climb a mountain, ford a river, and outrun a pack of rabid dogs all before breakfast. Plus, it's got enough room in the back for all your essential post-apocalyptic supplies: food, water, ammunition, and maybe even a spare engine or two. So, if you're looking for a vehicle that's as reliable as the sunrise and about as subtle as a sledgehammer, the Defender 130 is the one for you. Toyota Land Cruiser 70, the unkillable cockroach of cars. Right, let's talk about a vehicle that's as tough as old boots, and about as likely to break down as the sun is to stop rising, the Toyota Land Cruiser 70. This thing is a legend, and for good reason. It's been around since the dawn of time, and it's still going strong. They say that cockroaches will inherit the earth after the apocalypse. Well, I reckon it'll be Land Cruisers, right alongside them. This is the car that every aid worker, farmer, and warlord swears by. It'll run on anything that even vaguely resembles diesel, and it'll keep going long after other cars have rusted into oblivion. Plus, it's about as simple to fix as a hammer, which is handy when you're in the middle of the wasteland and the nearest mechanic is a 3-day camel ride away. So, if you're looking for a vehicle that's more reliable than a Swiss watch and about as exciting as watching paint dry, the Land Cruiser 70 is the one for you. The Rezvani Tank X, because sometimes you need to out-apocalypse the apocalypse. Now, we're getting into the really serious stuff. The kind of vehicle that makes you think, yep, the world's gone completely mad, but at least I've got this. I'm talking, of course, about the Rezvani Tank X. This thing is less of a car and more of a mobile fortress. It's got more armor than a Roman legionnaire, and it's about as subtle as a punch in the face. But that's okay, because when the world ends, subtlety is for losers. This is the kind of vehicle that you drive when you want to make a statement. And that statement is, get out of my way, I've got places to be, and I'm not afraid to run over a few zombies to get there. It's got a 1,000 horsepower engine, thermal night vision, and even a smokescreen system, just in case things get a bit hairy. So, if you're looking for a vehicle that's as subtle as a nuclear explosion and about as practical as a gold-plated toilet brush, the Rezvani Tank X is the one for you. The Earthroamer 15 LTS, the four-wheeled luxury bunker. Forget your cramped, leaky fallout shelters. When the world ends, I want to be living in the lap of luxury, and that's where the Earthroamer 15 LTS comes in. This, my friends, is not just a car, it's a mobile mansion. We're talking king-size beds, granite countertops, and enough solar panels to power a small city. You could literally live in this thing for years and never have to worry about pesky things like electricity bills or property taxes. Plus, it's got enough ground clearance to drive over a collapsed skyscraper and enough off-road capability to make a mountain goat jealous. So if you're looking for a vehicle that's as comfortable as a 5-star hotel and about as subtle as a diamond-encrusted tank, the Earthroamer X-Teen LTS is the one for you. The Hummer H1 Alpha, the original apocalypse eater. Now we're going back to basics. The Hummer H1 Alpha. This is the granddaddy of all apocalypse-ready vehicles. This is the car that Arnold Schwarzenegger made famous. The one that eats concrete for breakfast and washes it down with a gallon of diesel. It's big, it's brash, and it's about as subtle as a kick in the teeth. But that's what we love about it. This thing is built for one thing and one thing only, to dominate the road, no matter what's in its way. It's got a diesel engine that runs on hopes and dreams, and a suspension system that laughs in the face of potholes. Plus, it's got enough ground clearance to drive over a small building, which is always handy in the apocalypse. So, if you're looking for a vehicle that's as American as apple pie, and about as subtle as a bald eagle screaming the Star-Spangled Banner, the Hummer H1 Alpha is the one for you. Ford Bronco Raptor, the all-American apocalypse funhouse. Now, for those who like their apocalypse with a side of fun, we have the Ford Bronco Raptor. This is the car you take when you want to outrun the end of the world in style. It's got a thumping great engine, enough suspension travel to make a roller coaster jealous, and enough off-road tech to make a NASA engineer weep with envy. This thing doesn't just drive over obstacles, it dances over them. It's like a Baja racer that's been crossed with a tank, and then given a shot of adrenaline. Plus, it's got a removable roof, so you can enjoy the post-apocalyptic sunshine while you're dodging radioactive zombies. So, if you're looking for a vehicle that's as much fun as a barrel of monkeys, and about as subtle as a firework display in a library, the Ford Bronco Raptor is the one for you. Toyota Hilux, the indestructible pickup of doom. Right, let's talk about a vehicle that's so indestructible it makes Chuck Norris look like a delicate flower. I'm talking, of course, about the Toyota Hilux. This thing is the automotive equivalent of a cockroach. You can try to kill it, you can try to break it, but it will always come back for more. They've taken this thing to the North Pole, the South Pole, and even up a volcano, and back down again, obviously. And you know what? It just shrugged it off and asked for more. It'll run on anything that burns, it'll carry more weight than a team of oxen, and it'll probably outlive us all. So, if you're looking for a vehicle that's tougher than a week-old steak and about as exciting as a tax return, the Toyota Hilux is the one for you. The International MXT, the military-grade mayhem machine. Finally, we come to the vehicle that makes all the others look like toys. This is the International MXT, and it's about as subtle as a hand grenade in a tea party. This thing is built for war, for crying out loud. It's got more armor than a tank, a diesel engine that could probably run on liquefied dinosaurs, and enough ground clearance to drive over a small moon. This is the kind of vehicle that you drive when you're not just preparing for the apocalypse, you're actively trying to bring it about. It's got bulletproof windows, run-flat tires, and enough firepower to take down a small army, though obviously we don't condone that sort of thing. So, if you're looking for a vehicle that's as intimidating as a grizzly bear with a toothache and about as practical as a pair of cement shoes, the International MXT is the one for you. Which apocalypse mobile will be yours? So there you have it. 10 vehicles that are tougher than a badger's backside and more than ready for the end of the world. These cars aren't just tough, they're built to conquer the end of the world itself. Which one of these apocalyptic vehicles would you want to drive into the chaos? Let us know in the comments below. For more incredible insights into the world's most indestructible cars, make sure to check out our other videos on Detroit Motor Marvels. Hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for the latest updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.